I don't know how to put this, but I'm kind of a big deal.
Dr. Bones, listening to Dr. Bones.
And now it's time for another episode of Blogger's Corner with Britt.
Britt.
Hi, I'm Britt from eclecticpop.com, and welcome to a new episode of Blogger's Corner with Dr. Bones. How are you, Dr. Bones?
Very well. How about yourself?
I'm doing good.
So, well, let's start out like we always do. Let's jump right into which is the Beast Ends. So I'll let you go first, and we'll take it from there.
Okay, well, this week the action finally ramped up with that blue Avatar Smurf character. And they were working to get Ingrid separated from their union, if you will. And so Freya was trying to find the grimoire. This led to a showdown with a possessed Dash, who kind of let a little bit of his mask slip, if you will. And then, meanwhile, Joanna and her pal, whose name escapes me, but I do know the actress's name this week, Michelle Hurd, they got trapped in a library trying to get the creature, and so there was a little bit, they were working on their relationship. And then Frederick, he saved the day, but Wendy still didn't trust him, and he vanquished the enemy there at the end of the episode, but not before one final reveal where he talked to his grandfather. We didn't see his grandfather, but he talked to him and basically said that he was working for him. So it might not be as it seems, but the hint was that Frederick might be a little sinister after all.
Very true. And the one thing too is, though, even though obviously he's got the mark of the king on his chest, like even though like he was kind of talking to him while he was in that kind of transfer thing, he did protect him at the same time. So he might be trying to kind of fight it a little bit.
Yeah, I hope so. Maybe he came there and he saw, he's gotten reconnected with his family and he's having second thoughts. And
that beast, I think it's called the Magic Aura, I think was the name of that beast. And yeah, it was pretty cool when they separated Ingrid, the bond, when they put that oil on her and pretty much set her on fire.
I know. Oh my God, poor Ingrid. I was thinking, man, what more does this poor girl have to go through?
Well, but it made it interesting. I mean, obviously, the flame looked extremely fake. I mean, I think they could have done
it was.
I'm sure they could have done a little bit of a better job with that, but still, it was good. It kind of added some excitement to it. And also, Joanna's friend, she was also, now remember, she was also, at one point, she was the DA on Law & Order SVU.
Oh, that's right.
So, because like when I see her, I was like, I know she's been lost. I remember her somewhere. I was like, where do I remember her from? I was like, oh, that's right, Law & Order.
Yeah. She's also, she's also been in some Hallmark movies that I've seen her in.
Oh, yeah, I don't doubt that at all.
Yeah, so yeah, you go down her filmography, and I was like, oh my gosh, I've seen a bunch of her stuff. So she's a very familiar face. But it's very interesting. One of the things that I was curious about is at the end of the episode, Joanna kind of had a heart-to-heart as she was leaving, and then they had a heart-to-heart. So is she staying, or did she leave anyway? I'm kind of in limbo about what happened there.
I think, I don't know. I mean, I think she's kind of split for good because what you're saying, that I guess essentially Joanna kind of gave up, or something about not being wild anymore, or something to do with like not loving herself. So I think she's going to be gone for the time being. I'm just not. They may bring her back, but I don't know in what facet, right? Because they brought her in as an expert for the Magic Aura. Now that's done, so I'm not sure what exactly they're going to do to bring her back, and as far as their connection goes. Maybe a love interest down the road. I have no idea.
It's very possible. I don't know. That's interesting. I'll be curious to see if she is still in this episode. I think you're right. I think she might be gone for now, so we'll have to stay tuned to see if she comes back. And another question I had, because I did miss a few episodes last season, maybe they explained this. Okay, when the girls were reborn, why wasn't Frederick also reborn in this world?
Because he was still in Asgard.
Okay.
Because that's the thing, is like he's been in Asgard the entire time. Because remember when they showed the portal and they came through and they showed the grandfather, the whole thing, he went back in, and they just came over to that world, right? To like the actual like Earth, you know. And so I think that's one of the reasons he wasn't reborn. And I think the curse, since Frederick went back and was loyal to his grandfather, the curse was just for Ingrid and Freya as opposed to Frederick as well.
Oh, okay. That makes total sense. Thank you for clearing that up for me.
No problem.
Because I was thinking, I kept thinking about it for some reason in this episode, very heavy. It just kept, I was, very perplexed as to what the dynamic was there. Because, him and Freya being twins and all. And it just seemed like Wendy has this, I don't know if there was always animus between them, but I don't know. It's a weird kind of, it's a weird relationship.
No, very true. I mean, it's kind of the love-hate relationship, right? So.
Exactly. And, and with twins, I would always think that Freya would, at some point, kind of subconsciously and feel like she was missing a part of herself because she didn't have her twin in this world, so they never had really... I mean, they might have, but I never remember her mentioning, like, oh, I'm missing a part of myself because, she was reborn without her twin, so I would think that would kind of have an effect on her.
Good point, but at the same time, too, is them being in separate worlds, literally separate worlds. I'm not sure if that quote unquote bond would kind of stand tall.
Oh, that's a good point.
So I mean, it just might feel like the same reason why Frederick wasn't reborn. I think it's the same reason why she wasn't missing that bond is because like he was in Asgard and she's on Earth, right? So like, I mean, even though they may be connected by a portal, doesn't mean they're connected on other levels as well.
Oh, I gotcha. But that makes total sense.
So, but again, these are just my opinions. Doesn't mean this exactly why. I mean, they may never explain it out, but that would be my guess.
I think that's a good guess.
So yeah, all in all, it was a good episode. I mean, I liked the fact that Dash called Freya a number of things, and he was embarrassed, and his mother hated the fact that he was dating a lonely bartender, and I wish all the Beauchamps were dead, and that's always the women, at least. So, I mean, it was kind of a good thing. And then all of a sudden, he's like, "Oh, how can I help? I want to help." But the one thing that got me the most is, I'm sure you noticed this too, is when they got Ingrid back, and I think by this time they hadn't separated. I don't think they had separated the bond yet. But all of a sudden, like when Dash, he goes, oh, how are you? Oh, I'm good though. Thank God you're right. And kind of Joanna and Freya both look like, wait, what?
Yes, I did notice that. They had a very close moment, and everyone else was kind of like, what the?
Yeah, exactly. So, like I said from the beginning, when they started helping with magic, that's gonna be a possible hookup.
Definitely, yeah. I think they're kind of taking their time to build to it a little bit, but it's going to be interesting.
Well, yeah, because the magic ore was just more or less of a side tactic, kind of distract from it. Like, no, they will get together, but this is going to come their way. They can't get together with all these obstacles, just like in real life, and for exception of a beast / demon's got tentacles for arms and stuff like that. So. Just like in real life,
Absolutely. Just like last week.
Yeah, exactly. So that would be my guess is they are going to go essentially. But the one I'm still trying to figure out is Killian's wife. Like she obviously gave him that potion and she had the spell and stuff like that, and like. So there's something going on. I mean, she's obviously trying to do something to him. I just don't know exactly what yet. Whether it's like kind of distorting his memory or because it's not exactly clear because she does these things, but there's nothing that comes of it. At least not yet.
Exactly. Yeah, it was very curious. And then this week she mentioned she wanted to have a baby, and so maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know why she just can't say so, or what's going on. Maybe it's a magic baby. I don't know.
Yeah. Then, well, that's the thing is if that does happen, is this going to be an evil baby, or what's going to happen here? Or are they going to get to it before it's too late? I mean, there's a lot of possible factors.
Very true. Because
she could say let's have the baby, and somehow it's figured out, so they stop it from happening, or. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm just guessing at this point.
Well, I think think these are good guesses, and I definitely it's gonna be interesting to see what's going on with her and whether I don't know. We're still speculating as to what kind of magic she might have. There was something about an owl that Freya had seen, but I don't know. This seems to be like this is going to probably be a storyline that takes center stage a little more later because they're kind of building it a little bit as a side story. So it'll be interesting to see what the big reveal is about what she's after.
No, very good point. The thing right now is, even as a side story, they better make it a little bit interesting because right now, boring. It's like I'm not into this at all. It's like, okay, well, she's just kind of there, and doing a couple spells here and there. Oh, I want a baby. Okay, where are we going with this?
I agree, and I was kind of curious as well. And then she said it, and then the thing with the hot wax was going on. I felt like I was watching a 1990s Lifetime movie. It was awesome.
Yeah, that was the thing too. It's like just don't move. No one hears. Like It's like, oh, come on.
He is such a baby. I'm sorry, but he kind of can be a wuss sometimes, Killian.
Well, hot waxing up. It just kind of like this is kind of a pointless scene. Is the wax really necessary? I mean, like, do we want that cheesy of a love scene? Or I guess so. I mean, like.
That is a good point, and also the lighting in the cabin has gotten to the point where I don't know, I'm just noticing this on maybe TV in general, but some of the lighting now is very smoky and foggy, and you can't really see it very clearly, and that's kind of annoying me. And just like in the cabin, they had all this ambient light coming in, and it made it kind of hard to see. Am I the only one who noticed that? No,
but in general, there's a lot of shows that almost film darker, that film darker in general.
That's very true.
They're not the only ones. So I think they're trying to add that kind of that mystery. Maybe not mystery feel, but kind of the dark, kind of evil, maybe witches feel to it, like with the kind of obviously with this smoky and dark lighting and stuff like that, and kind of give you that dark and somewhat evil spin to it.
Yeah, that's a very good point. It just like last season on Game of Thrones, it got to the point where it was so dark during one of the sequences that I literally could not make out a character, and I thought, if you guys are going for mood, great, but let's just come off a little bit so I can see.
Yeah, exactly. I enjoy the show, but I can't see it, so there's a problem here.
Exactly. I thought there was something wrong with my TV.
Yeah, no, I totally get that. So, we'll have to see if they continue on next week with Frederick and see, because I mean they've slowly been building this, so something's going to happen soon. Besides him saving Wendy, I mean you saw it too. Initially, she thought he was going to kill her, right? But he sliced the mandrake's arm and then just kind of pointed the knife at and said some words, and he was gone and turned to ash.
I know, it was very cool, and though he did that, I kept thinking how quickly he was able to resolve it. Why hasn't anyone asked Frederick why he didn't do it a little sooner? Well,
exactly. And it just, yeah, exactly. No, good point. I shouldn't do anything about that, but that's a good point right there, too. So we'll have to see how that pans out next week, and hopefully they'll give us a little bit more to it.
Yeah.
So next up, Teen Wolf. I guess this is more or less a guilty pleasure now, even though I'm watching it. So, but yeah, this week was really, really good. I mean, they go to that party, and what's her name? Styles' girlfriend, or Amelia. Yeah. What have you been drinking? Because she starts faltering, and then Liam starts faltering too, and then they figure out it's the music. And then obviously they're being killed off, and then they mentioned the officer. Well, the most interesting part is that a parish is some form of magic. It's just a question of what.
Right. Because
Parrish was essentially burned out of his car and not a mark on him. Like he came in and pretty much pounded the crap out of that other cop, and now he's essentially invincible. So obviously he came and saved them, which is awesome. But also Liam's good friend realized, and he pulled a plug in the music to kill the music to kind of stop the thing. And then all of a sudden, they turn around, you see Scott's eyes go yellow, and the wolf's back's like, now you're really screwed.
Exactly.
So I think now, because of that, I think they'll be telling Liam's friend what they are.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's going to be interesting to see how that, yet again, another person is kind of in the circle knowing it, and seeing Parrish kind of, he's got a little crash course in what's been going on underneath his nose, but it's going to be very interesting to see what Parrish actually is. I was literally freaking out. They had me going. I thought they were going to kill him off there on the opening sequence. I was like, no, because I'd heard that they were going to be killing off some characters this season to kind of shock the audience. So I thought he was a goner, and it was a really cool sequence to see him come back. And also, I do think that why didn't Liam's friend, he offered to go and turn off the music? Why was Scott being all macho and didn't want him to? It was like, it's okay. He can do it, because you guys are. Sometimes Scott just overestimates his powers as a wolfie, and it just gets really annoying.
Yeah, well, the thing is too. You're right. It is a macho, and I can understand, but I think at the same time too is I think Scott was doing it more or less as like, I'll take care of it. So maybe they wouldn't have to tell him what's going on.
Oh, that's a good point.
That would be my thought. I was like, no, let me take care of it. No, this is really affecting me, but I'll grab it. This way we don't have to tell you. That's one less person that knows, because we need to keep this somewhat secret for the most part. So.
Exactly. I mean, at this point, everyone in Beacon Hills is going to know what's going on. The only person I expect not to know is the coach, perhaps.
Yeah. Oh, even he's pretty wily, so he might get in on it somehow too.
That would be really cool.
I don't know how, but I don't know how exactly yet, but I think he will.
I think you make a good point. Anytime the coach can get more involved in the show, I'm all for that.
And also, now they're talking to Derek, so I think they might be figuring out how or what was it Laura that took his powers, or
yeah. Oh man, what's that girl's name?
Kate. So there's a possibility too they can figure that out. But obviously the most shocking thing was at the very end, and it kind of makes sense too when they do the flashback, because obviously Styles and Lydia went to get the records, and they gave the guy some cash, and they saw that the tape was on his desk, right? So he tried to kill them, and then obviously that didn't happen. But when they were listening to the tape of Lydia's grandmother being killed by him, and pretty much right before he died, he's like, you know what? He goes, I know it. She controlled me, blah blah. And it was either Banshee, I can't remember her name. What's her name? Britt? Meredith. And then apparently she's been the puppet master the entire time, which is really kind of freaky and begs the question as to why.
I was thinking the same thing. Why? And I was also genuinely shocked, because she'd been on last season, and it might have been even before that, but I definitely remember being on last season. I always felt really bad for her, and I saw her as a victim of all these bigger than life circumstances. So it was really interesting that they turned that around, and now she's a villain. I did not see that coming.
Exactly, and I didn't see really a lot of last season. I saw more of like this season. But it was kind of a shocker too, and that she's been doing this the entire time. Just still can't figure out. But yeah, trying to figure out as to why she's doing this.
I'm very curious to find out what exactly her motive is in all this, and also, because people, saw her the way she was last season and stuff. She kind of got a chance to learn a little more that way about everybody than she did otherwise. So she's armed with quite a bit of more knowledge than the other villains who are on the periphery of everything.
Right. And the other thing is, like I said, the worker that tried to kill them, when they saw the flashback after Meredith hung herself, you saw her see how he removed the noose, and he felt bad about it. Mm-hmm. So it was almost like she controlled him to do it, but he didn't kill her, and she kept herself alive somehow. Is the way I see it.
Yes, definitely. I think she has she probably has mind control powers over everyone, or at least this guy, and so I'm not really sure what she is. I thought she was just a banshee. I think everyone did, and now it might be a little more than that.
Exactly. Definitely a good plot twist. So, and the other thing I'm thinking too is this could be far out, is even though they show her and she's telling her that she pretty much is a benefactor, I'm not. Who's to say that she could not end up being the benefactor at all? Maybe she has this information, but it's just because of like maybe it's mind control or be able to mind read. So I'm just not sure if they're going to throw another loop to it. I think this might be the end, and then it'll deal with the benefactor, but it's a possibility.
I think that's a very good point, and it's definitely very possible. I'm counting on Styles and Lydia to figure this all out. And by the way, what's going to happen with the money that's under Scott's bed? Is he going to use that or not?
I know. That's starting to bug me too, actually.
But it was so sweet to see my Styles and his dad, and the show can get very supernaturally frenetic and everything, but to see them in this quiet, really normal person moment, dealing with real world issues, and those two actors together, that was so sweet.
Yeah. Well, the morphing's kicking in, so I don't really care too much about anything right now.
Yeah. That was funny. He was cruising.
Well, it's that kind of made that I guess lighten the mood a little bit.
Definitely.
So yeah, that was a really cool episode, and like I said, it's more or less becoming guilty pleasure. But don't tell anyone.
Your secret is safe.
Awesome. Oh, wait a minute, we're live, right? Never mind that. You never heard that. So yeah, I'm curious to see how the next weekend is going to pan out. I want to see if they're going to put another twist on it, or if Meredith's going to be a lot more forward, saying, "Well, I did do this," and just all the other things too throughout the episode was just like really smart. The list kind of endlessly being printed off all the printers and that sort of thing. That was kind of creepy and cool at the same time.
Oh yeah, that was neat. I think they did let it go on a little long with Liam. I was thinking, dude, that is all of your paper. I'm concerned. The paper is expensive. I don't know why he wasn't getting over there a little quicker. He was just like, whoa, what's going on? I would have unplugged it a lot sooner.
Well, I guess to keep with the kind of the freaky factor, right? I don't think necessarily the first thing you think about is like, oh my god, my paper! It's like, what the fuck is going on here?
That is a good point.
Am I on TV?
Do you think that Derek, one of the big reveals was Scott had to tell Derek that he was on the kill list, and he's, because his name unlocked it, everyone else whose name is unlocked it has died, so Derek didn't seem too concerned about it, but I'm very curious to see if they are going to actually kill him off, because he's been always on. It feels like every season he is almost about to die, and then he doesn't. And every season I feel like it's going to be the season he goes, but I'm not sure. What do you think?
See, this is where I thought I might have misunderstood, just because at the end I thought that Derek said he wasn't on the list anymore. Like Scott was at the top of the list as the alpha.
Oh.
I don't think Derek's on the list anymore because he doesn't have powers anymore. Yeah. So and now it's Scott's number one target. Okay,
well, there you go. Now he's in the clear. I didn't realize. Thanks for clearing that up for me.
Well, I didn't want to kind of step on your toes there, but I'm pretty sure Derek said I'm not on the list anymore because look at the top of the list and like Scott's there and Derek's not on anymore because he's got no power, so he's not a magical being anymore.
Oh, I gotcha. I think that I was up really late trying to watch it in time, and I think I might have fallen asleep before that part. I didn't realize it till now.
Were you sleeping? No, I was just resting my eyes.
It had been a long day, so yeah, I think I might have missed that one. But thanks for filling me in.
No, fair enough. I've done that before too. I've fallen asleep and went back because like I don't remember this part, or how did I get to this point?
Exactly. And see, I always fall asleep, and normally this is just a filler episode. It's always the one that's really crucial that I tend to conk out on.
Yeah, no, it was a great episode. So. I really want to see what they're going to do with Meredith. I want to see if she'll be officially the benefactor or if there's someone else involved.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting. She kind of puts off that vibe that, remember the movie Minority Report with Tom Cruise?
Yep.
Okay, she kind of reminds me of the characters who are giving the visions and stuff. So I don't know if she's being used by someone or it turned out in that one that they were super, they had much more power than the people were controlling them. So she kind of puts off that vibe to me. It reminds me of each other.
And there's also I'm blanking the name of the movie. I wish I could remember here. You know what? Well, if I remember, I'll come back to it because I can't give a good enough description that you're gonna know what I'm talking about. So like I can kind of think about it, but not a big deal. If I remember it, we'll come back to it. If not a big deal.
Okay.
But actually, possibly that's Brittany Murphy. She was in this, and that was the one. She's like, "I'll never tell."
Don't say a word.
Thank you. Okay, so yeah, that's who Meredith kind of reminded me a little bit of.
I totally can see that. That's a very good point.
Okay, I'm glad you're able to pick up that one line because that one line kind of made the movie for the previews, right? So that's one line everybody remembers.
It is.
It's like Ransom, and I'll tell you when this movie first came out, we probably my buddies and I, and this is going back because like we rewound because we were watching on VHS, and it was a part where he's like, "Give me back my son." And just died laughing. Rewind and watch over again. It just for some reason it was so funny. For some reason we could not take Mel Gibson seriously. That was just one of the funny like, "Give me back my son."
Yes, I do remember that scene, and I saw them when I saw the movie. I could not believe, for me, what a douche Mel Gibson's character was in that movie. He didn't really seem to be as concerned about his son as his money. That was just my take.
No, fair enough. But like I said, I mean, it was supposed to be like a real intense movie. We were just the three of us were just dying laughing. It was just like the funniest thing in the world. Like running back, it's like, hey, let's watch it again. Like, give me back my son. Bye. Who could take this jerk seriously? Like.
I agree, and see, when you see scenes like that out of context, it's even funnier because you're not absorbing it at all, and then it's really bad when you are actually watching the movie and you're able to laugh because it's so over the top. Well,
yeah, and that's the thing is a lot of times these series movies are. It's like, and like we talked about before, it's in the TV show. It's like, oh come on, when's that gonna happen?
Right.
So, how can he jump across two bridges, land on a train, hit the tracks, and still be alive?
I know, yeah, and they did that in that Skyfall movie, and then he got shot and he fell into the water. I'm like, freaking seriously? Yeah, I don't freaking think so. Sometimes they push it too far with that stuff, and even if they're superhuman, I mean, come on.
The thing with Bond though is it fits into it because I mean it is that kind of real life but not real life. It's kind of a half and half because this fictional spy is going around the world and doing all this crazy stuff, and it just part of the character is like I know it's a little bit over the top. I'm not disagreeing with that, but that's kind of how they can slide it in just a little bit more with at least with the Bond movies.
Yeah, that's very true. And with the Bond movies, they always kind of given James Bond, which for me had been something that made him better than some of the other spy spin-off stuff, was that they always had this mechanism that you didn't see at first how he was getting away with it. So there was a gadget, something that saved him. And this time in the Skyfall movie, which they just showed him he just bounced back. They need to give me a reason why it was going to happen. I like the whole gadget thing, so that makes sense to me.
Well, the gadget's really cool, and like and in the past like three, so like Casino Royale and Skyfall and what was the other one?
Quantum of Solace.
Quantum of Solace. I mean, they were all really good, but a lot of personally, I liked a lot more of the gadgets in the Pierce Brosnan movies.
Oh, me too.
And because I think they were a lot cooler. I mean, but Pierce Brosnan, I mean, just like most of the Bonds, some people liked them. At least some of the later Bonds, like Roger Daltrey and what's his name, Roger Daltrey. What am I talking about? Timothy Dalton. That's what I meant to say. I don't know why I was thinking of Roger Daltrey from The Who. So. Lead singer of The Who. For some reason, I had his name in the brain, not Timothy Dalton, but yeah, Timothy Dalton. Because Roger Daltrey is a huge rock star and is about 70 years old. So big difference.
That would be very cool if he did a James Bond.
Big difference there. Anyways, so I meant to say Timothy Dalton, and Sean Connery. I don't think there's anybody just like Sean Connery. And I don't know why I can't think of some of the other Bonds, but they're kind of you like them or you don't. But each Bond was kind of different. Sean Connery's more tongue in cheek. Timothy Dalton was more kind of action and kind of more. What's the word I'm looking for? More kind of hardcore, I guess. I'm not sure
Yes.
quite up, but so and Pierce Brosnan, was a lot of action, but again, he was more the suave side of Bond, right?
Yes.
And it was interesting. And one of the ones, obviously, was the first one he did was Goldeneye. And the one scene I always think of is anytime anybody clicks their pen, was that pen remote for a bomb.
Oh.
Because pretty much close to the end, he gets captured. Boris has got the pen, and you see him. He's clicking it because Boris the whole time would twist the pen through all his fingers and always be clicking on a pen. He goes, and you could see him every time he's doing it. You see Pierce Brosnan counting because he'd arm it, disarm it. So you can see him even though he's supposed to be not scared or anything like that. You can see just looking in his eyes. He's looking at it. You can see me just a little worried. He's like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. His art is literally about 4 or 5 times he armed it, disarmed it. Because 3 clicks turn it on, 3 clicks turn it off.
I know, and that was what made Brosnan so good in the role to me, was because he did let you see Bond sweat just a little bit, but he was very animated, and with Daniel Craig's Bond, his face remains the same through everything.
Yeah.
An explosion, same face. Getting hit like he did in Casino Royale, which was a very strange scene. And when he was strapped to the chair, same facial expression. So it's not. I can't really get absorbed in his adventure.
No, fair enough. I mean, admittedly, Skyfall was a little disappointing. I mean, I expected a little bit more of it, and I'm not sure. It's possible. I'm not sure they've talked about it, but if they make another Bond, obviously, I think they are moving on to someone different than Daniel Craig, because how much I remember how much they hammered on the fact that that getting old, he failed the testing, we passed him anyways, and and then they introduce the new Q, who's looks like he's 20 something. So, which is fine. I mean, I know we're all used to the original Q, who passed away probably about 10 years ago now, maybe a little bit longer. But he died on Tomorrow Never Dies. He died, I think, midway through the filming of that one.
Right, yeah, that's right.
So, but yeah, so I think they're looking to go younger again. So, not that Daniel Craig's really old, but I think they're looking to get someone who's maybe 10 years younger.
Yeah, I think they'll probably go for someone in their 30s,
yeah.
Maybe early 40s. But I think if he does do another, I think they are planning to do another one with him. But I think after that, I heard that they're going to do another actor. And I think the reason they were just trying to do it one more film is because for a lot of people who grew up with the Bond movies, they kind of want to see that movie where the older guy he's still teaching the young buck, the young Q, a few things, because they're living in a digital age where they're feeling kind of aged out of the world, so they're going to a movie to see someone who's still very relevant and still, kicking ass, pardon my French, and being really tough. And I totally understand why that appeals. So I think they'll probably give him one more Bond, but after that, I think they'll go 30s. Do you have a person that you would like to see be Bond if they do recast?
At this point, no. Honestly, I can't really think of anyone because I haven't, I haven't watched tons of the new movies that have been out in the recent little bit, and I've seen the previews obviously, but there's no one that really pops out in my mind that would say, that guy would definitely be a good Bond. At this point, I'm not, I'm not sure. I couldn't give you one person at this point.
All right, well, stay tuned. I have a few people, but we'll see what happens. Every time that it comes, I definitely know that there are a lot of people that I'm like, I don't know about that. like when we're talking about Jude Law, who has made a remarkable comeback in the recent years. I don't see him being Bond. No,
I don't see it either. I'd say Gerard Butler, but he's just a little bit too hardcore, so I think it might be a little much for the role.
But that would be interesting if he did it.
Yeah, I definitely see it.
Yeah, I think he was one of the hot tips back when they were casting for the, Casino Royale, and I was bummed he missed out on it.
Well, you never know. I mean, I think as far as I know, he's younger than Daniel Craig, so.
He is, I believe. I think that's right.
I'm taking a guess at this. I don't know this for sure, but I would say maybe not a lot younger, but a little bit younger. But who knows? Anything can happen, right? So
Yes.
we'll get into the couple questions that we are asked as well as your blogs in just one more minute here, because while we're on the subject of old people, sometimes it just it kills me. Just to give you a quick point of reference, there is one of the Mr. Bean episodes. He's going downstairs to grab a bite to eat. And he keeps on getting stuck behind old people who are just moving super slow. He'll get around one, and there'll be one right there, like not even 2 feet in front of them. So he's trying to get around them. Then finally he decides he's going to jump down a few flights. So he hops rail, and he gets down. He's like, perfect. And it kind of slaps his hand together, and turns around, and there's one again right there in front of him. That was my trip to Costco yesterday.
Oh, no.
Holy crap! I was getting so annoyed. And I just like one of those things like, man, I just want to get my stuff and get out of here. Like I don't have the patience to deal with this right now. Like, and it's not one of those things. It's like Costco, yes, it's a bigger store, so aisles are wider, and the actual grocery aisles and just the aisles to get around. But still, man, they managed to clog all of those together. It's unbelievable. It's pretty impressive, actually. It's like
Nice.
it's like one of those things where like. Obviously, it doesn't happen, but you almost think they planned to do it before they even got there to me. I was like, all right, today we're gonna piss off the young people by stocking the aisles in Costco. Ready? Break.
Exactly.
So-
Like the Truman Show.
So I was like, I know you're trying to be polite, you don't want to be rude to them, but sometimes, man, just like get out of the way, move faster, or let me get in front of you.
I know that it's like when they're on the road and stuff, and they can be either very aggressive. Like the other day, I was driving. Who is this? Why are they being so aggressive? And it was, as I've heard some people call them Q-tips. All I saw was the top of her gray hair, and she was putting the pedal to the metal.
You see, usually they drive slower, and you're lucky you saw the hair because usually you just see the knuckles, right?
Exactly.
So and it's true what Seinfeld said. People get older, the cars don't get smaller, they get bigger.
Exactly.
It's usually they're going way too slow, and I'm not talking about going like 2, 3, maybe 5 miles on a speed limit, no big deal. They're going like 10, 15 under. It's like, okay, you gotta speed up here. You're gonna cause an accident by going this slow.
Exactly. I mean, when driving slow causes accidents too, and I really feel like sometimes that gets missed.
And then there's the eventual left, and I'm backing out of my driveway, and I don't care who's there. I don't think anybody's there, but I'm going anyways.
Oh yeah, that's a big problem.
That was my day at Costco yesterday. So like, I just wanted to try that in real quick. I wasn't too pleased, but whatever, it happens. So. Into the pop culture questions, Nessie was asking about the controversy with Taylor Swift's new song "Shake It Off." I have to admit, I was reading some stuff and I watched the video over again. Like, I'm not really a fan of, but I watched the video over again, listened to the song, and I honestly don't see where the controversy is coming from at all. Like, I really don't. She's pretty much essentially telling her haters, you know what? I'm rich, I got money, I'm a good singer, so go screw yourself. So like I don't see how that's controversial. How like it's not like many other bands haven't done that. So
I agree. It seems like every time Taylor Swift does something, I read some, and I pulled the quotes here from some. I won't read them all, but from some various websites, and one of the overwhelming sentiments was, "Stop acting like you're a normal person." See, but if she, I'm sorry, apparently she's now an alien, but if she acts like a normal person, and she's just like an everyday woman in an extraordinary circumstance, she's faking it, but if she is, if she says, I'm a superstar, everyone says, wow, you think you're better than all your fans. So she's at this paradox where you can't really please anyone, and I think she's right to say, people said, they were bringing up about how she says haters gonna hate in the song. That is a hater. When you can't appease someone, and because they're going to complain about it on both sides, that's just not someone who can be pleased. And it's quite frankly not a fan. I wrote a whole article about it, and also one of the things too was people continuing to say that she's written songs about celebrity relationships and she's making all this money off of it. And I'm thinking, hasn't every artist they write about relationships, and sometimes those relationships happen to be with someone famous. Bob Dylan writing about, people writing about his relationship with Joan Baez, and of course Carly Simon writing about "You're So Vain." That just is business as usual. unusual, and I don't understand why Taylor Swift is being targeted with such negativity over it.
Well, and one more quick thing, because we got a few things to get through here still. Just the You're Sylvain song. There's also a Nine Inch Nails song called Star Effort, so I'm going to bleep that out. But that song was pretty much about Courtney Love. And it's pretty harsh, but yeah, so continue.
Oh, no, and yeah, exactly. Your example just proves it.
You're right there, Britt?
Oh, yeah, I'm fine.
You sounded like Ozzy there for a second. I couldn't understand you.
I'm sorry. Sometimes I
Britt,
get nervous.
Britt, I'm just teasing you. I'm just joking with you.
Okay.
It's just a joke. Don't worry. Okay. The other. Did she ask a question about a certain movie too?
Oh, yes, Begin Again, with Keira Knightley. I saw it. It is a really good movie, and basically a commentary about the music industry and how the internet is changing the game on indie artists really taking the power into their own hands. So it's one of the things they talk about in the movie. And I think Nessie said it hadn't come out over in Germany yet, but it's getting ready to. So people are in for a treat. I got to see it, and it is a really good movie. It's out here in America, and I think it should be out in Canada too. But Keira Knightley stars in it. It is a good movie.
Yeah. Usually if it's out there, it's out here too. So.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
Sometimes it's not, but most of the time, yeah, it's pretty much right on the money.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So okay. Now, lastly, we'll get to your blogs. What you've been working on?
Oh, right. Okay. Well, I wrote 2 articles about Taylor Swift. One is just about the news about her new album and everything that she said on her live stream, which if anyone missed it, I don't know if they still have it up, but Yahoo Stream, you just download that onto your device or whatever, and I think they still have it up there so you can watch it. They're just showing it in a loop-de-loop, so you might come in and she's already talking, so you just kind of have to watch it on repeat. But I have all the details about everything that she kind of said in there, and then also an article defending her in the midst of this controversy. And what else was there? Today will be the best new movie bets, and I think that's about it. There might have been something else. Oh, and then the thing that I talked about last week, which is an article, ironically, about pleasing fans, which Taylor Swift's trying to do, and haters are gonna hate. So, oh yes, and the TV report card for the first season of Fargo, which is nominated for an Emmy, a bunch of Emmys, and just kind of my take on the season. It was a really good show, so check it out. And I think it's going to be coming to Netflix soon, so everyone can see it in its entirety. It is a mini series, so you feel free to know that there is closure. It's not one of those things that's left open-ended.
Right on. Well, perfect. Just a few more things here, just before we're done, because we only have like a few minutes here left. Tomorrow night for Music Saturday, it'll be starting at 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 PET, and my special guest critics will be the Wild Young Hearts. So you're gonna want to tune in for that. Yeah, I'm looking a lot of fun. I just actually asked Rob yesterday. He's like, he agrees. Like, I know this is last minute, but do you want to come on the show? I was like, absolutely. And the other thing is on September 24th, I will have Rebel 9 on for an interview. That's already set. That's on a Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. And until then, which will be tomorrow night for New Music Saturday, and just like normal, blah, 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 blah. Now I'm kind of talking a little fast here. But next Friday at 1:30, we'll be back for Bloggers Corner, talk about another episode of Witches of East End and Teen Wolf and other possible fun stuff that's going on. Until then, this has been Dr. Bones and Britt.
Thanks for having me.
Until next time, Bones out. We'll talk to you soon.